Chapter 2. A Young Woman Dies. Justine worked with Jack at Private. People trusted her too. Tonight, she was in an expensive Italian restaurant. Then, the chief of police called her. "Another young woman is dead," Justine told her friend. "I must go." In 2 years, 11 young women in Los Angeles were dead. Now it was 12. The killer always took something from the women: hair, a necklace, clothes. Then the killer emailed the chief of police and told him about the women's things. Nobody knew where the emails came from, but the emails all had the same name: Steam Cleaner. The police found the women's things, but they could not find Steam Cleaner. The police wanted Justine and Private to help them find the killer. Emilio Cruz, from Private, stopped his Mercedes at the restaurant door, and Justine got in. "What do you know about this girl?" asked Justine. "Her name is Connie Yu. She was 16 and very intelligent," said Emilio. "She was on the ground behind a restaurant. There was an earring in her left ear. There was no right ear." Emilio stopped in a small, dark street near some police cars. They walked past the police and spoke to the doctor. "We'll get an email about the ear in a day or 2, Emilio said. At 2 a.m., Justine and Emilio were at Private's offices. They talked to Cy, Private's forensic expert. "We have the woman's bag and cell phone," said Justine. "Can you look for DNA on them?"
"Of course," said Cy. "I can work all night on it."
Chapter 3. At Private. The next morning, Justine, Emilio, Cy, and Mobot, the computer expert, were in the office. Jack opened his laptop and showed them the photos from Andy's bedroom. "Look at these," he said. "I can't see anything important. Can you?" "Did the killer take anything from the house?" asked Justine. "No, he took nothing," said Jack.
"And were Andy and Shelby happy together?"
asked Emilio. "Yes," said Jack. "Very happy." "Okay," said Justine. "This killer is a professional. But why did he kill Shelby?"
"The police always like easy answers. They will think one thing: Andy killed her," said Emilio. "Did Andy kill her?"
"No, he didn't," said Jack.
"I know Andy well. He loved Shelby." "What next?" asked Mobot.
"We look at Andy and Shelby," said Jack. "We talk to their friends
and to people they work with. Let's go.
Wait, said Justine. I have some news on the young woman. We have her bag. Cy couldn't find any new DNA, but Mobot looked at her phone. I looked at the text messages, said Mobot. There were hundreds, from 20 or 30 people. I looked at the numbers, and they are all friends or family. But there is one strange message. I can't get the number for it. Look! A text message came up on the wall. Connie, it's Linda. My mum took my phone. I must talk to you. Can we meet? Please? Behind the restaurant. At 8:30 p.m. Don't tell anyone. I talked to Linda, said Mobot. Her mother didn't take her phone. Linda didn't send that message. The killer got into Connie's phone and found all her friends. Then he sent her that message from his phone. But we can't find the number of the killer's phone, said Cy. It isn't possible. Who is Steam Cleaner? Asked Jack. Rudolph Crocker left his office at 7 p.m. and went for a drink. At 9 p.m, he was at home and ready for a run. He ran out to Marina del Rey and thought about Connie Yu. That was a great evening. There was nobody near him. He stopped near a boat and put something on it. Then he went home and sent an email to the Chief of Police. You can find Connie Yu's ear on a boat in Marina del Rey. Steam Cleaner.